What is love? Why are we so concerned about this word love? Every day people talk about love. I want to share with you something that I know about love. Maybe you know about it too. But love is a strange experience, a strange happening that comes to all of us at some time or the other, but then seems to elude us and go away. What is love? What kind of experience is it? Is it a kind of thought? Do we have to think ourselves into love, or does it come by itself? Is there such a thing as divine love or love of another kind? Is there a physical love, or is there a love that is not physical? What is love? Let me elaborate a little bit. Love is the potential, capacity, experience of human beings to identify themselves with others. When one human being gets so concerned and occupied with the personality, experience, feelings, problems, emotions of the other human being, it comes as an experience of love. Love is an identification with another. Therefore, love by its very nature has to be different from attachments. We have attachments with people. That is not the same thing as love. In love, we forget ourselves in the pursuit of the companionship of the other, in the pursuit of the emotions and concerns of the other person, the beloved. There is a very interesting Persian couplet which says, Ishq awwal dar dile mashuk paida mi shavad, which means love is first born in the heart of the beloved. What does it mean? It means love is not something that we, with our ego, with our thoughts, can project on somebody else. Love is an experience that is extracted, drawn, withdrawn from within ourselves by one who is drawing that love from us. Love then is different from attachment. In the experience of attachment, we get a feeling we are together. However close we might be, we may be very intimate, we may have great moments of such privacy and togetherness that we have never experienced before, yet they are not experiences of oneness, they are experiences of closeness or togetherness. Love is not togetherness, love is oneness. Attachment is togetherness. When we are attached to somebody, we are conscious of I and you. I, the one who is attached, and you, the one to whom one is attached. This I and you experience is not called love. I and you is attachment. Attachment is different from love. In love, one forgets there is an I. One forgets there is somebody who is loving. One only knows who is being loved. Therefore, the object of love occupies the whole attention, the whole consciousness, the whole awareness of a lover. The experience of a lover is not the experience of himself, but the experience of the beloved. Therefore, when you have real love, you cannot say, I love you. You hear this phrase every day. All over the world, people speak in this language. I love you so much. You will notice that when people say, I love you, the emphasis is more on I than on you. What does it mean? It is an ego trip. Because if you happen to respond by saying, but I don't love you, the person who is so sincerely saying, I love you, will turn around and say, then I hate you, which means that this was no love. To start with, it was an attachment, not love. Love is different because in love, the ego disappears. In fact, I do not know any other experience in human life which can control and tame our ego. Most of our problems arise from ego. Most of our good motivation also comes from ego. But if ego is used only for good motivation and not for getting into problems, It's a wonderful experience. But since ego messes up most of our good experiences, therefore we have to tame it. There is no real way of taming the human ego except love. Love alone takes our attention away from our own ego to the personality, the attractiveness, the concern, the beauty of the beloved. The beauty of the beloved holds our attention so fully, we forget who we are. We have an interesting story from the Orient of a lover and his beloved. The lover was named Majnu, and he loved a girl named Laila. This story of Laila and Majnu is very well known. Some of you may have heard of this classic story of Laila and Majnu. Majnu was so fond of Laila, he could see nothing else but Laila. He traveled in the wilderness, and he traveled through the lanes of various cities and towns, and he called for nothing but Laila, Laila, Laila. He forgot who he was. If somebody asked him, "Who are you?" he would say, "I am Laila." "What are you looking for?" "I am looking for Laila." His whole attention was on the girl he loved. He forgot himself. One day, this Majnu was walking in front of the mosque, the place of worship. And as he was passing in front of the mosque, there was an ardent devotee who was saying his prayers, who was offering namaz, which is the word for prayer. And he was in that stage of namaz, which is the most intense part of worship, called sajda, which means he had saluted the Lord by putting his forehead on the ground, and he had his eyes closed. At that intense moment of worship, this lover, Majnu, passed in front of this devotee. He crossed in front of the devotee, between the devotee and the altar or the shrine. The devotee raised his head up. He looked at this young man. He called him back. He said, "Look here, young man, do you know what you did? You committed the greatest sin anybody can commit. You came between me and my Lord. I was in that stage of worship where the feelings are most intense in worship of the Lord. You came between me and the shrine. Therefore, you interrupted the communication that I was having with my Lord. You have committed sin." Majnu turned around and he said, "Sir, forgive me. I really did not see you, nor did I see the shrine. In fact, I was looking for Laila. I was searching for Laila. My heart, my attention, my soul was looking for Laila. Had I seen you, or had I seen the shrine, believe me, sir, I would not have come between you and your Lord. I would have passed from behind you so that your worship and your love for the Lord could go on uninterrupted. Please forgive me." The devotee said, "I forgive you this time, and I hope Allah will forgive you also. But remember that this is a sin you should not commit again." Majnu walked away. As he was going away, he turned back and, addressing the devotee, said to him, "Sir, I am an ordinary human being. I am in love with an ordinary human girl. And with that love alone, I lost all sense of myself. I lost all sense of where you were, where the shrine was, where the mosque was. This human love made me so full of my beloved, I could see nothing else. And you, devotee, who are worshipping that Lord and pretend to have love for the Lord, how could you, in the stage of sajda, when your forehead was on the ground, your eyes were closed, how could you see that somebody walked in front of you? Please do not pretend to worship. There is no worship of the Lord unless you worship with love. When you worship the Lord with love, you forget yourself. Do not have this hypocritical worship just to show to other people that you love the Lord. If you love the Lord, you will never have this kind of a feeling that you can watch others who are going in front of you. When you do that, my dear sir, you are only on an ego trip. You are not experiencing love. When you will experience real love, you will forget where you are. You will forget who you are. You will forget even love. You will only know the beloved. You will only know the one you love. And that is the experience which is real love. Then if this is love, where do we get it from? Do we have this experience by trying for it? Is it a thinking experience, or is it an experience that comes by itself? The true answer to this question is, love can never come through the mind. Love can never be thought out. Love does not come through the streams of thought. Love is not a mental process. Love is not a mental experience. Love is an experience of the soul, of the spirit, of the inside of consciousness, which is not mental. Love is an experience that is not bound down by time, space, and causation. Love is not something that you can create by planning to have love. Love is not something that you can have merely by thinking about it. Love comes from nowhere. Love comes suddenly, in no time. Love comes as an experience. And when love comes as an experience, it comes with a joy and beauty and happiness that no other experience has. Love is the natural state of our spirit. It is not confined to a few people. Every human being is full of love within himself or herself. Every human being is made up of love. The essence of every human being is the soul, which is made of love. And the essence of every human being, which is the soul, is also made of God. Therefore we say, love is God. Therefore we say, God is love. Because the essence of human beings itself is the same, namely love or God or beauty or joy or happiness. These all take place together. Have you heard of intuition? That sudden flash of knowledge that comes from nowhere? Love comes like that intuition. Love comes from nowhere, does not come in time. And therefore, love is not something that you can have by thinking about it. Love is of the same nature as the human spirit. Love is different from the mind. When you are in love, you do not experience thoughts. When you think about love, you are contemplating an experience that was not a thought. Love comes in a flash, and we can spend time thinking about it, contemplating about it. But the experience of love itself is not a thought. Love takes us within ourselves, because love is an experience of being within ourselves. We talk of meditation. What is meditation except the experience of love? We talk of God realization. What is God realization except the experience of love? We talk of knowing one's own self. What is knowing one's own self except knowing the love within ourselves? When we get to know ourselves, we know God, we know love, we know the true nature of consciousness. Therefore, all these things are the same thing. They are love.